Week 2 done, and I managed to get my mileage up with just a 3 mile drop on last week. This is just a very brief intro to lead into run 8 out of 14 for January, and I'll give a summary at the end. So let's see how today's run went. Run 8 of 14 in the January 14, and actually before I start, some of you may recognise this particular area from various weekly runs up Bacon Hill. So, run 8 of 14, and I have a confession to make. I intended on going on a 4-day run streak this week. I did Thursday, Friday, and I was going to do park run yesterday, but, and this is where my undisciplined nature comes out, I had a friend staying over for the weekend. Now I was still going to do park run, but we stayed up very late. We drank some alcohol, not masses, but enough to leave me a little bit drained in the morning. And it was absolutely chucking it down. It was cold, it was horrible, it was wet. And I convinced myself that I don't need to do this run, I'm going to skip it. I'm doing a 16 miles today, that'll make up for it, and it's all excuses. So, if you're not in a running club, I'd suggest to get involved in a running club, because these times when you look outside and think, it's cold, it's wet, it's horrible, I don't want to do it, and you use all kind of justifications not to do it, a running club will help get you out, because you're out running with friends, people that you actually want to engage with, all sharing a like mind and a love of running. So if you don't do it or not doing it already, that'd be my recommendation and tip for the week. Now, 3.5 miles in, and I've got a long way to go. It's out along Pilgrim's Way, back along North Downs Way, back to Depning, and I better get on with it. I'm 9.5 miles in, and I'm on the return journey back along the North Downs Way. Psychologically, this is the high point of my runs. I don't know how it is for everyone, but for me, all the way up till you get to the halfway point, there's always a chance that you can make an excuse. I'm not feeling it, the weather's inclement, whatever excuse you want to use are out there for you to pick off and convince yourself that turning back is a good thing. Once you've gone past the halfway point, everything is all the way back. There's no more trying to convince yourself of anything. And psychology plays a big part, especially in ultra running. Now there's experienced ultra runners who will know this even more than I do. But your psychological game is what will carry you through an ultra marathon or even a heavy, hard trail run. I'm not going to attempt to film and run this bit at the same time, but you'll see that it goes down like that in a groove, if you like. And my running style tends to be on these to run diagonally across them. So I'll start run from the left to the right to the left, diagonally going down. And what that seems to do now, I don't know if this is a known tip or if it's just something that I've picked up and do myself, but it cuts off some of the steepness of the slope, but also it means that my feet aren't doing that. So my feet are still running in a good running position rather than being at an angle, which will tire you out much quicker and cause you problems later on in the run. Now this is near the end of my run, so it wouldn't cause me many problems anyway, but if this is early in my run, that I could be in serious problems later if I just tried running straight down this. So I'm going to run down it now, and I'm not going to attempt to film it because I will go over. And there we have it, 17.2 miles, longer than I was expecting because I made a few wrong turns. Finishing up at the Cock Horse pub for a well-deserved pint of Coke and a bag of crisps. But I've got to go to the car first to change my shoes because I don't really want to go in with those. Whoa, how did I get in there? Okay, moving on. So my week 2 recap. 3 miles of 4-ish miles and one 17-mile run that was supposed to be 16. But yeah, I took a couple of wrong turns. One of which you'll see in the video clip for the first video clip if you look closely and compare it with the Strava route, which I'll post up here, but you'll have to look me up on Strava to see it properly. I think the takeaway for this week is don't allow your brain to convince you to skip a run, no matter how it tries to rationalise it with you. So, till next week. Nanu, nanu.